Coming up, firefighters respond to an early morning fire at a Grand Forks hotel. And President Biden spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin as concerns increase over a possible invasion of the Ukraine. Plus, after a young snowmobiler's death last year, family and friends came together today to remember him. Valley News Live at 10 starts now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Nashay Taylor. Temperatures are expected to dip again tonight and potentially more snow and wind returns for tomorrow. Summer is here now with a quick look at our forecast. Summer.
Thank you, Nashay. At this point in the season, do we expect any less than that frigid air returning on top of snow and wind and everything else that we've been hit with? Right now, we're continuing to see clouds clear out of our region after a fairly cloudy day, and the wind is gradually diminishing. So those two ingredients that we know lead to a cold night. You can see a bit of a breeze still in the Southern Valley. This is our Dakota Magic Casino near Hankinson, North Dakota, but temperatures dipping below zero. It's 3 below zero here in Fargo with winds out of the north at 20 miles per hour. So still on the breezy side. Calm winds in Fergus Falls, but Bemidji noting some flurries in the air and an air temperature right now of 12 degrees below zero. Here's a snapshot of tomorrow morning, and Nashay, we're looking at snow and wind, so stick around. Got lots to go over in your hour-by-hour forecast.
We'll have to bundle up.
Ooh, yep.
Thanks so much, Summer. The Grand Forks Fire Department responded to a fire at a hotel early this morning. Authorities say they were dispatched to the Quality Inn on 30th Avenue South around 7:45 a.m. on report of a fire alarms going off. When firefighters arrived, they found a fire in the bathroom of one of the first floor hotel rooms. Fire crews were able to put out the fire and clear the smoke from the building. Everyone inside was safely evacuated and no one was injured. The hotel was able to resume operations later this morning. And President Joe Biden spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin today as concerns escalate over a possible Russian invasion of the Ukraine. This comes as the U.S. warns Americans to leave Ukraine in 48 hours over fears of a Russian attack. President Biden reiterated to Putin that, quote, a further Russian invasion of Ukraine would produce widespread human suffering and diminish Russia's standing. The U.S. moved some of its forces out of Ukraine and ordered the evacuation of most of its embassy as of today. But although ordered to leave, there were no signs of a mass exodus from Ukraine. Russia has amassed more than 100,000 troops on the Ukraine border, but it denies it plans to invade. U.S. officials, while pressing for diplomacy, said Russia could invade before the conclusion of the Winter Olympics on February 20th. And may seek to seize the capital of Ukraine and other cities. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said if the attack happens, it's likely to begin with aerial bombings and missile attacks. And today, a video was released showing military exercises as part of the Russia-Belarus Joint Allied drills. Poland's defense minister said yesterday that the United States would send 3,000 additional troops to Poland in the coming days. NATO described the Allied drills as Russia's most significant deployment since the Cold War. Russia denies any plans again to invade, saying it's defending its own security against aggression by NATO allies. Meanwhile, two Democratic members of the Senate Intelligence Committee have raised concerns about information on Americans gathered by the CIA. A letter written in April summarizing their concerns was just declassified on Thursday. That group found the CIA secretly gathered information on Americans that was collected incidentally as part of foreign surveillance programs. The senators referred to the information gathering as warrantless backdoor searches of Americans. The CIA has not revealed exactly what information it has, but says all of its collection activities have been conducted in compliance with U.S. law. The Senate has advanced a controversial bill that reignites the debate over tech platforms' legal protections. The legislation, known as Earn It Act of 2022, targets how websites handle child sexual abuse. Under the bill, states could bring civil and criminal lawsuits against a tech platform that knowingly facilitates the spread of child pornography. Right now, tech platforms can only face a federal prosecution. Critics say this opens the door for censorship and overreach by the government. The Earnest Act sailed through the Senate Judiciary Committee with a unanimous support. Its next stop is the Senate floor. Economic issues are on the top of voters' minds for the midterm election. A new poll found 59% of people say the economy is the most important issue. 55% say inflation and another 49% say taxes. Another priority is voting rights, with 55% of people calling them extremely important. Meanwhile, 46% of voters say education will be extremely important to their vote for Congress. Reasons for that varied, including social benefits, school curriculum, the pandemic, and masking. As for this election cycle, only 24% feel extremely enthusiastic about voting this year. A Fargo family celebrated their late son's birthday by paying it forward to those who helped them in their time of need. Valley News Team's Alex Larson has the story of how this family is giving back.
It would have been 3 this year on the 20th.
Zephyr Atchison was only with his family for a short time, but he left a huge impact.
It's emotional, a lot of emotions, up and down, hopeful and prayerful.
I don't know how he did it, but he healed our family even though we felt broken.
Zephyr spent his time in a NICU in Minneapolis, while his family stayed at the Ronald McDonald House.
From our understanding, he was healthy until he was born, and then they seen that he had tetralogy pulmonary atresia. He's a CHD baby. He's a heart warrior. He is also diagnosed with 13 diagnoses, and he is considered very rare.
And in honor of their son, every year, his family collects donations to give back to the places that help them in their time of need.
And when we're in those shoes, we sometimes forget to take care of ourselves. So
The family takes up hundreds of items, from toiletries to gas cards.
it feels good to help them because right now with the pandemic, there's a lot of things that some of the resources are limited. And so some of the things that we're bringing are things that they won't have to leave the hospital.
It's very, very important. I like that she reaches out to the families in there and that she's going to continue to do it.
The NICU is for short-term care, but they're hoping to make it just a little easier for the families there.
Just knowing that people care, I guess, is the big thing, and that we can be part of it for others who've been there for us.
Make it easier for them to get those snacks, those drinks, and for the kids that are waiting at the hotels or the Ronald McDonald House, the toys will kind of help them without them having to go shop for things.
The family will take these donations to Minneapolis next week.
We'll keep remembering him, we'll always have his birthdays. He'll still be with us every year.
Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
The family will be accepting donations until next week. We'll have a link to donate on our website. Now just click on this story. Later on Valley News Live at 10, after a young snowmobiler's death last year, family and friends came together today to remember him.
Cold temperatures, snow, and wind all in the forecast just for our Sunday. Our details are coming up next.